Hey guys, welcome back to Buzzer to Buzzer. All right, guys, so the 10th week of the 2020 NFL season has elapsed, and although our Week 10 reactions video will be coming out later this week, probably tomorrow, today we're going to be doing an updated version of our 2020 MVP award, Offensive Player of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year. In case you've not already checked it out, we did a prediction episode way before the season started with a man named Chad Forbes, who's an NFL insider. That'll be in the top right hand as a corner. But a lot has changed, safe to say, since then. And today, and heading into the Week 11 of the 2020 NFL season, we're going to be updating those picks. So without any further ado, let's get to it. All right, guys, so the first award which we're going to be going over today is going to be the Offensive Player of the Year. Now, guys, this has been a close race. We got some great receivers, quarterbacks as well in the top 5. I'm going to get started with the B, your updated pick for the Offensive Player of the Year.
So my offensive player of the year so far has got to be Dalvin Cook. I think he's the best running back in the league right now. Maybe if you want to say Alvin Kamara, I think he's better than Derrick Henry. But if you look at what Dalvin Cook has done for the Vikings so far, without him, they would probably have 0 wins. He's their entire offense. He carries their entire offense. I don't really want to pick a wide receiver this year. I felt like running backs have been a lot more important to teams. Other than like a few other like DeAndre Hopkins, but I think I'm gonna have to stick with the pick of Dalvin Cook. He's just been going off recently. He's putting up insane numbers and insane stats, and he's been carrying the Vikings on his back this whole season. So definitely Dalvin Cook.
My pick for the offense for the year this year has to be Alvin Kamara, no doubt. I think for the same reasons that B said, right? Alvin Kamara, for that stretch that Michael Thomas was out, Alvin Kamara carried that Saints offense. Drew Brees, threw lots of screen passes, running back handoffs, all of that. But I think the main reason why I have to pick him is because he's as elite of a running back as he is as a receiver. He was their wide receiver one, he was their running back one, he was their offense in general, and because that led to wins, I have to give it to Alvin Kamara.
It was tough for me to pick between Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara, but I think I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara here for one fundamental reason. Is that Alexander Madison, he was putting up the same numbers when Dalvin Cook was out. Obviously not like the 3 TDs, 4 TDs we've seen, but he was still putting up 100-plus yards and being just as successful in the Vikings offense. So I think it's more run-oriented than it being Dalvin Cook. Alvin Kamara, though, that's a different animal. He's the screen passes are already talking about. I don't know if he's an amazing wide receiver, but he gets the job done with receiving yards. He's scoring. Even with Michael Thomas back, he was scoring like crazy yesterday against the 49ers, and you have to go with Alvin Kamara.
Exactly. Alvin Kamara has been a beast this season. And for me, it came down to 2 people. It was either DeAndre Hopkins. Last night we all saw what he did against the Bills. That was one crazy catch for the ages. But then it came down to Alvin Kamara and the impact he's had with the Saints. And especially his real time came through when Michael Thomas was out. He transformed, like Arnie said, into wide receiver one. We saw him not only be a great running back, which he already was, but a great receiver. And for now, I think we can also say he is wide receiver one for the Saints. He's had 7 touchdowns, nearly 500 receiving yards. He's been balling. I feel like that if Christian McCaffrey was still in the picture, his injury had not occurred, it might be a different picture potentially. But Alvin Kamara has just been great this season, and I feel like he's currently by some margin ahead. All right, guys, now moving on towards our updated Defensive Player of the Year picks. I'm going to start off with Harsh, your pick for the award.
Yeah, this one was tough. I was struggling to decide with which region of room member to pick, whether Jerron Reed, Quinton Dunbar, Trey Flowers. They're all great picks here. But I had to single it out. I really think I have to go here with someone that's not in the regional room. I think I'm going to go with Aaron Donald. Myles Garrett was a really close second, but as a reason, Aaron Donald has been helping his team create so many QB pressures and hits. I don't like looking at sacks as a major measure of how great a player is because some days you're going to get 4, some days you're going to get none. I think more importantly is what you do for your teammates around you, and I think Aaron Donald does significantly more.
I think my pick has to be TJ Watt this year. He's been absolutely dominant. Coming into the league as a rookie, he won Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he's been in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation for the past 2 years now. You see the Steelers defense this year. They're probably the best defense in the league. And a lot of that is contributed by their pass rush, which is led by TJ Watt. He's got 9 sacks on the year. He's got so many quarterback hits. I think he's a clear-cut pick for them for defense for the year.
I think for this one, I'm gonna have to also go with Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is, what's crazy is that after the Seahawks game, and I was looking at some articles, people are saying that Aaron Donald should be considered for MVP actually, and not even just Defensive Player of the Year. And the fact that a Defensive Player of the Year saying that he should be in the MVP conversation is just insane. Every single week he does amazing. He doesn't have an off game ever, in my opinion. Even if he doesn't get sacks, he still adds in a crazy amount of pressure to the QB every game. No O-line can honestly 1v1, like O-line, they have to double team him every single game. And obviously TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, they're also amazing defensive players too. But I just think that Aaron Donald, the value he brings is just higher than those two other players. So I'm gonna have to go with him for this pick.
For sure, much respect for Aaron Donald, the upcoming TJ Watt, but you got to go with the Chicago native. I feel like right now, Khalil Mack, I feel like he's a potentially he could be behind these two, but I truly believe that Khalil Mack can make a comeback against, you got some matches coming against the Vikings, the Texans, maybe even the Packers. He's been having a heck of a season, as he always does with the Bears. One of the best pass rushers in the league. He's already had around 7 sacks this season, and I feel like he's what's keeping the Bears defensive unit together, him and Hakeem Hicks, and I feel like you got to go with the Chicago native. And now, guys, making our way towards the Most Valuable Player Award, a.k.a. the 2020 NFL MVP. Now, guys, I think it's safe to say that there is a super close race going on right now, especially considering the circumstances and the games we have seen in the previous week unfold as well. It's a tough call to make. I'm going to start off with Arian. Who do you got for the lock for the MVP award?
I think it's no question as of right now. It has to be Patrick Mahomes. He's been playing lights out. He hasn't had one bad game this year. Only has one loss this year. And as of recent weeks, the front runner was Russell Wilson. But after having 10 turnovers in the last 4 games, Patrick Mahomes only has 1 turnover all year, and that was a Hail Mary pick against the Raiders. He's been playing lights out. He's really good with the ball. He can make all the throws. He can win you games. It has to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree with Orion. No question here. It's Patrick Mahomes. He covered it all. But what he fails to forget is that Patrick Mahomes is doing all of this while being held to a higher standard. It's like what I call like the LeBron James effect. It happens to, LeBron's always in the conversation for MVP, but we still tend to hold him to a higher standard. I think that's what's starting to happen to Patrick Mahomes. We consider his amazing performances what he should be playing at, and whenever he goes above and beyond, that's when we finally give him recognition. But I think he deserves recognition at the level of what he's doing right now.
Although I really do want to say Russell Wilson, and it does pain me, but I'm gonna
at least fall on the ball. You can at least fall on the ball.
Dude, Jalen Ramsey is too good for our team. He always locks up DK. Russell Wilson just can't do anything with DK.
The defense, the defense plays offense, so you can blame them for Russell Wilson throwing the interceptions.
I don't understand it, but I'm gonna have to also go with Patrick Mahomes. I obviously don't blame Russell Wilson for his performance in the last 3 games. I think that's all because of his O-line. Or a majority of reason is because of his O-line and the defense. And if we're just going solely off stats here, looking at Patrick Mahomes, 1 interception, 1 turnover, like Arian said, that's just insane numbers. I think he might even have a better year than when he won MVP. When he won MVP 2 years ago. And Russell Wilson, he did great the first 6 games, but then I feel like his O-line had a test against these really good defenses like the Rams. Yeah, I just don't think Russell Wilson has been performing near to that level that Patrick Mahomes has been performing at. And I do want to see. I don't think it's over at all. It's still very close, like Rayan said. But I do want to see how Russell Wilson does in the next 3-4 weeks, because he does have a pretty easy schedule now, and maybe he can take the lead again. But for now, it's Patrick Mahomes.
It's a similar narrative to when we saw last year, Abby. Russell Wilson balling out first half of the season, then rolls around the second half, and Russell Wilson, that concavity of that graphic just changes. Man, what is that man doing? If you asked me this question last week, I still had a lot of hope in Russell Wilson. I'm a firm believer in him and DK, Tyler Lockett. That combination is always going to work. But seeing this loss against the Rams, which we're going to be talking about tomorrow, it just had to bring Patrick Mahomes back to the number 1 spot. Now, am I saying that Patrick Mahomes was locked in? You guys already discussed why. No, I feel like last night we got to see Kyler Murray cementing his name back in the top 5 as well. But for sure, considering everything, the wins like Patrick Mahomes had over the Ravens consistently, this past win against the Panthers as well, and he has some upcoming games too. He has to get that win over the Raiders, who beat him in the past couple of games. But it's going to be interesting to see who is number 1. But for now, I think we can all agree Patrick Mahomes is there. All right, guys. Well, those are our updated as of week 11 Buzzer to Buzzer top 3 awards. There this week we'll be coming out with the other award predictions as well. As always, guys, be sure to like button, subscribe, and comment down below. Do you agree with us on these 3 awards? Love hearing what you guys gotta say. Take care, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you guys.